In the world of numismatics, there's a thrill unlike any other. The moment when a coin you thought was ordinary turns out to be a hidden gem, a treasure worth thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And nestled among the change in your drawer, or a forgotten penny jar, could be one such treasure. The 1988 Lincoln 1-cent penny. Welcome to Rare Coins Hub, where today we unravel the dramatic and exciting story behind a coin that might look just like any other, but could be worth anywhere from $15,900 to a staggering $196,000. Imagine this. A coin minted in 1988, over 3 decades ago, casually circulating in the hands of millions of Americans, used in gumball machines, dropped in parking lots, or forgotten in the depths of an old wallet. Now, imagine that same penny quietly appreciating in value due to its overlooked rarity and mysterious minting quirks. It's this blend of history and serendipity that makes the 1988 Lincoln Cent not just a collectible, but a legend. The Lincoln Cent has been in production since 1909, first issued in honor of President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. But by 1988, it had already gone through major changes, from its original wheat reverse to the familiar Lincoln Memorial design introduced in 1959, and the change in composition from 95% copper to a mostly zinc core in 1982. The 1988 penny belongs to the zinc era, where the core was 97.5% zinc with just a copper coating. This change introduced new vulnerabilities and opened the door to unique errors. And that's where the Real story begins. One of the most famous and valuable errors found in the 1988 Lincoln penny is what collectors call the transitional error. This refers to coins that were struck using dies from the previous year. Specifically, some 1988 cents were struck using a 1989 reverse die. This error is visible under magnification. You'll find a slight but critical difference in the design elements, especially around the initials FG of designer Frank Gasparo. On the normal 1988 cent, the initials are further from the Lincoln Memorial. On the transitional error variety, they are much closer, mimicking the design of 1989. These transitional error pennies are incredibly rare and highly sought after. Their rarity comes not just from the error itself, but from how easy it is to miss. Many people would have no idea they're holding such a coin unless they're paying very close attention. That's where knowledge becomes power, and the casual coin holder becomes a savvy treasure hunter. Auction records prove just how valuable these coins can be. In recent years, collectors have paid stunning prices for mint condition and air variety 1988 pennies. One remarkable specimen, a 1988 cent with a 1989 reverse, sold at auction for $15,900. That wasn't even the highest price paid. Another well-preserved example with the same error reached a jaw-dropping $196,000 at a high-profile numismatic auction, simply because of its pristine condition and unmistakable design anomaly. The emotional pull of these stories is powerful. Imagine inheriting a coin collection from a grandparent, thumbing through pennies you assumed were worth next to nothing, only to realize one of them matches the rare 1988 error. The shock, the thrill, the joy. It's not just about the money. It's about the mystery and history carried in a small copper disc. This coin represents more than currency. It's a piece of American history, a testament to the small imperfections that make certain objects unforgettable. It's important to note that not all 1988 pennies are valuable. Millions were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, and most of them are only worth face value unless they are in mint state condition or contain one of the rare errors. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. It's a game of detail, precision, and patience. Sometimes the smallest clue can reveal a hidden fortune. Mint state 1988 pennies, graded MS 67 or higher by professional grading services, can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars. One MS 67 example from the Philadelphia Mint fetched over $2,000. Combine that with a rare die variety and the value skyrockets. The story of the 1988 Lincoln 1-cent penny is a lesson in looking closer, in understanding the layers behind every object we handle daily. It's a story of transformation, from spare change to national treasure, and the idea that great worth can hide in plain sight. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone curious about the coins in your pocket, this penny challenges you to look again. So, if you got a jar of old pennies lying around, Now might be the time to pour them out, grab a magnifying glass, and start hunting. Because among the ordinary, the extraordinary sometimes hides, waiting for someone like you to uncover it. And who knows, your 1988 penny could be the next one to make headlines, with a value soaring well beyond $15,900, maybe even brushing against the incredible $196,000 mark. That's the magic of the hunt. That's the power of Rare Coins Hub. It all starts in the year 1997, a time before smartphones ruled our lives. A simpler era, yet one full of quiet transitions in the world of coinage. The United States Mint, steeped in its long tradition of crafting our currency, was busy producing billions of coins. Among them, the Lincoln cent struck primarily at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The 1997 Lincoln penny was meant to be just another year in a long line of production. It bore the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln, etched by Victor David Brenner, a design that had remained virtually unchanged since its debut in 1909. It seemed, at first glance, to be ordinary. But hidden among the countless billions were a few mistakes, a few oddities, a few miracles of minting that would change everything. To understand why some 1997 pennies are worth thousands, even six figures, you have to understand how things went wrong. Minting a coin is a complex process. Planchets, those blank metal discs, are fed into machines that strike them with immense pressure. A tiny shift in alignment, a worn-out die, a double strike. These imperfections, normally discarded or unnoticed, sometimes make it into circulation. And when they do, collectors take notice. Let's talk about one such coin, a 1997 Lincoln cent that sold at auction for an eye-watering $125,000. This wasn't just a fluke. This was a coin struck on a bronze planchet from the pre-1982 era. That's right. By 1997, pennies were no longer supposed to be made from copper. They were zinc-based with a thin copper coating. But this rare outlier somehow ended up with a wrong metal composition entirely, weighing in at 3.1 grams instead of the usual 2.5 grams. This coin set collectors on fire. The feel, the sound, the look, it was different. And when it was submitted to PCGS, it was confirmed. A 1997 penny struck not on zinc, but on a bronze planchet from an earlier era. A mistake so rare, so unlikely, that it fetched a six-figure sum at a major auction. $125,000. For a penny, that was just the beginning. Another 1997 penny, discovered with a dramatic offsetter strike, sold for over $19,000. The coin, nearly half blank, told the story of a mechanical hiccup, one that created a dramatic visual error. Collectors are drawn to these kinds of anomalies like moths to flame. And the scarcer the error, the higher the stakes. One such coin graded MS67 red by NGC, showing not just the off-center strike, but also die cracks running along Lincoln's coat and rim, fetched a solid $23,700 at auction. Why? Because not only was it error-laden, it was also preserved nearly perfectly, a blazing red luster that screamed originality. Then there are the double die obverse, DDO, varieties. Few things excite numismatists more than doubled letters or numbers on a coin. And though not all double dies are dramatic, the ones from 1997 are particularly elusive. One penny discovered with noticeable doubling on the Liberty inscription in Lincoln's eye sold for $21,000. The doubling was crisp, clean, and undeniable. It wasn't caused by post-mint damage or machine doubling. It was a true die error, a mint-made mistake that became a collector's dream. And what about the wide AM reverse? This is one of the most subtle yet valuable design variations out there. In most 1997 pennies, the letters A and M in America on the reverse are touching or very close. But in a handful of coins struck that year, those letters are noticeably spaced apart, a design intended for proof coins only. Somehow, a proof die was used to strike regular circulation coins, and collectors quickly learned to search their change. One wide AM example in pristine condition, graded MS66 red, brought $18,500 at auction. All because of a tiny gap between two letters most people never notice. It's not just the rare errors that drive up the price. It's the combination of rarity and condition. A 1997 Lincoln penny that looks ordinary but grades as MS68 red, one of the finest known, sold for $25,000 simply due to its condition. Out of billions produced, only a handful survived in perfect mint state. No nicks, no scratches, no fingerprints, just a flawless strike preserved like a time capsule. It's the kind of penny that makes dealers' hearts race at coin shows. And the bidding wars? Intense. But perhaps the most haunting part of this story is the thought that these valuable coins, these six-figure pennies, are still out there. In jars, in drawers, in pockets, forgotten, passed over, spent. How many have slipped through the cracks, spent at face value, lost forever in circulation? One collector from Ohio found his $19,500 penny inside a roll of bank-wrapped cents. He'd spent years going through rolls, bag after bag, when he spotted something odd. A deeper tone, a different sound. He weighed it, 3.1 grams. He nearly dropped it. That coin was later authenticated as a bronze planchet strike, identical in weight to a pre-1982 cent, but dated 1997. That single discovery changed his life. Not just in value, but in the realization that he had found a ghost. A one-in-a-billion error that no one was supposed to see. These aren't just coins. They're survivors, misfits, outliers, accidents that turned into treasures. They tell stories not just of mint machinery and metal compositions, but of the people who spotted them. The hunters, the hobbyists, the dreamers. Every coin collector alive today dreams of finding their $125,000 penny. And the 1997 Lincoln Cent offers one of the greatest chances of all. So what should you be looking for? Check the weight. Anything over 2.5 grams could be a bronze planchet. Look closely at the reverse for a wide AM. Inspect Liberty and Lincoln's face for signs of doubling. And if the coin is off-center, misaligned, or has visible die cracks, don't ignore it. Get it graded. Get authenticated. Because what you're holding could be worth far more than 1 cent, and when you find it, when you hold that mysterious coppery disc under a light and your pulse quickens and your eyes confirm what your instincts told you, when that coin is graded, certified, and placed in an auction, it's no longer just a penny. It's a legend, a small, round piece of American history that turns heads, sets records, and changes lives. The next time you hold a 1997 penny, don't overlook it. Don't toss it aside. That coin might be the hero of your own collecting story. Somewhere out there, in the clink of pocket change or the rattle of a coin jar, waits a cent with a value beyond imagination. Maybe it's in your hands already. Maybe you've walked past it 100 times. But tonight, you'll check again, because now you know the truth. Thanks for watching Rare Coins Hub, where the smallest coins hold the biggest secrets. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with fellow treasure hunters. And as always, keep searching, keep collecting, and keep believing. Your next penny might just be worth $125,000. That's right, a coin you may have already held in your hand, spent at a gas station, or tossed into a fountain without a second thought, could have been the most valuable penny you ever touched. And what makes it even more chilling? It still looks like any other. The 2014 Lincoln penny is a master of disguise. But once you know the signs, once you see beneath its copper skin, everything changes. Let's begin with the year itself. 2014 was not supposed to be a groundbreaking year for the humble 1-cent coin. No flashy design, no special commemorative release. Just another year in a series dating back over a century. The obverse bore the same stoic profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brennerbach in 1909, his image refined but ever familiar. The reverse still showed the Union Shield, added in 2010, symbolizing national unity. These coins were struck in copper-plated zinc, weighing 2.5 grams, just like they had since 1982. Billions were minted. Over 4 billion, to be exact. Most at Philadelphia, some at Denver. They clinked from minting presses into bags, into rolls, into circulation, into cash registers. A sea of sameness. But within that ocean, a few slipped through that weren't like the others. Mistakes, glitches, anomalies, little things, tiny shifts. And in the coin collecting world, little things can mean big money. One of the first to come to light was a 2014 Lincoln Cent that had been struck on a foreign planchet. It weighed less than expected, just 2.0 grams, and looked slightly off in tone. When examined under magnification, it was clear this was no ordinary planchet. It had slipped into the production line by mistake. A rare error. That penny, verified by PCGS, sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $9,000. 1 cent transformed into $9,000 because it wasn't what it was supposed to be. But that was just the beginning. Soon after, a more dramatic discovery emerged, a double die obverse. These are the kind of errors that make even the most seasoned collectors sit up and lean in. The doubling on this 2014 penny was unmistakable. The letters In God We Trust showed clear signs of separation. The Liberty inscription had thick, shadow-like echoes. And Lincoln's eye? It looked as if he had two pupils staring out from the coin's tiny canvas. Coins like this are the holy grail of modern sense, because they're not caused by wear, or damage, or tricks of a light. They're born from the mint itself. Mechanical, mathematical, and maddeningly rare. That coin, preserved in mint state condition, graded MS68 red by NGC, went to auction and stunned even veteran bidders when it realized a total hammer price of $23,500. From a penny, found in circulation, rescued from obscurity. But wait, the story deepens. Another error type emerged. A 2014 Lincoln cent with an off-center strike, about 60% misaligned. Lincoln's face barely made it onto the coin. The Union shield? Cut clean off, leaving a haunting blank space where detail should have been. These kinds of off-center errors aren't always valuable, but when they're severe and still show the date? Jackpot. This one had both. It sold for $14,200, verified by Heritage Auctions. A coin with half its design missing, yet its value completely intact. And then came the real outlier. A coin struck not just on the wrong planchet, not just off-center, but showing a remarkable clipped planchet error, where a crescent moon-like bite was missing from the coin's edge. Combined with a strong red luster and pristine condition, this penny sold for $18,900 in a private sale between collectors. A 1-cent coin missing a chunk, and yet gaining a fortune. Still not the top of the mountain. In 2022, an MS69 specimen of a 2014 Lincoln cent. Yes, MS69 red, a grade that screams perfection just one step from absolute flawlessness, appeared at auction. It didn't show wild errors or doubling or clips. No, it was valuable because it was perfect. Out of billions of coins, this one had no dings, no scratches, no blemishes. And for that reason alone, it sold for a staggering $26,000. A reminder that rarity can come not just from errors, but from excellence. And yet, the story would not be complete without the legend. The whisper in every collector's ear. The phantom coin, one that was never meant to exist. A 2014 Lincoln penny struck on a leftover bronze planchet, a relic from the past. In the era of zinc, this penny felt heavy. It rang differently. It weighed 3.1 grams, like a coin from before 1982. And when it was tested, the results were conclusive. This was a coin struck with the wrong metal, using a planchet that should not have been anywhere near a minting machine in 2014.IT, was graded, authenticated, and eventually auctioned. The final bid? $91,000. That's not a rumor. That's a fact. A $91,000 penny. Not encased in gold. Not dipped in diamonds. Just a mint error. An ancient planchet, reborn in the wrong year. And now, a legend. The emotional weight of these coins can't be overstated. Think of the person who found that penny. They weren't a millionaire. They weren't a dealer. They were a hobbyist, a dreamer, someone like you, sitting at a kitchen table, cracking open a bankroll, scanning coins one by one. And then it appeared. A coin they almost missed, almost spent, almost gave away for 1 cent. That penny changed their life. And that's the beauty of this story. These coins are not locked in museums or hoarded by billionaires. They're still out there. In piggy banks, in car cup holders, in the floorboards of your house. These coins are survivors. Misprints, misfits, miracles. And every time you reach into your pocket, you have a chance to find one. Oh, what should you look for? Trust your senses. Start with weight. If it feels off, it might be. Grab a scale. If a 2014 penny weighs more than 2.5 grams, investigate further. Check for doubling, especially on the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Use a magnifier. Look for off-center strikes, missing parts, or odd colors. If the tone is deeper, redder, or more golden than expected, don't ignore it. And condition matters. A perfect coin, even with no error, can be worth thousands. These coins aren't just currency. They're mystery. Their history. They are buried stories waiting to be uncovered. Imagine what it would feel like, sending a coin to be graded, your heart racing as the email arrives. MS-69, a perfect specimen, or discovering a wrong metal strike and watching the auction bidding soar past $50,000, then $60,000 until the gavel drops at $91,000. That's not just money. That's legacy. That's something to pass down, to display, to talk about for generations. So tonight, after this video ends, do one thing. Open your change jar. Go through your coin rolls. Hold each penny to the light like it might be the one. Because it just might be. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey through time and copper. This has been Rare Coins Hub, where we uncover the extraordinary hidden inside the ordinary. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button. If this story fired up your collecting spirit, drop a comment and tell us which year you're hunting next. And above all, keep looking, keep believing, because the next $91,000 coin could be in your pocket right now.